Hi everybody, welcome back for another video. Today is our first session in terms of our contest between the Grimburg JUL and the aluminum rounds. I don't know if this one's going to be definitive, but I think we had a good test. I've already done the shooting. I'll show you right here the end result, but definitely stick around and watch the video. We were able to bust through some wood, cause some serious damage, cause some holes in wood that go all the way through. This is using my TCP with my 6-inch barrel, and that's using the stainless steel insert. I'm going to show you all the shooting that I did. I did some chrono at the beginning, then I did some wood destruction. Really interesting results. I think it's a must-see, so stick around and check this one out. All right, first thing I'm going to do is chrono with my new barrel. I've got an extra inch. We'll see if that makes any difference. We got the Grimburg JUL V2s in here, and we'll see what happens with those. Got it charged up. We'll just do some chrono and see where we stand. All right, first shot coming up. .368, amazing power. Now we got a drop, 304, so that's a significant drop, but that first shot was amazing. 281. Fourth shot, 261. So we're losing power. Fifth shot, 249. Sixth shot, 236. Number 7, 222. One more. And a flat 200. So I can tell you that I have never gotten 368 from my TCP with any barrel other than my eBay barrel. So now comes the interesting test. We've got the aluminum balls in there. We just did the Grimburg JULs and got some amazing numbers. I've got 8 of those aluminum balls in there. We're going to load those up just like we did. We're going to charge it, and then we're going to see what we get. All right, she's charged. And let me get on my hearing protection, which I forgot. All right, so same barrel, chronograph. We got 8 of the aluminum balls. See how it compares. Now these are slightly lighter. Got 335 that time, so that's weird. These are actually a little bit lighter. That's 1. 311. So 335, 311. 286. 274, fourth shot. 265, fifth shot. Number 6, 252. Number 7, 237. And last shot, 218. So these balls are, according to my weights, were about 7.5 grams. The Grimburg JULs are 8 grams. They're both shooting fine. They're both feeding fine. But the first shot with the JUL was 50 joules. That seems to be a little bit of an outlier. The alu ball was around 40 joules. But after that, they were just precisely the same all the way through. It doesn't get any more even than that. So it's shooting consistent and the balls are behaving very similarly. I'm going to call the JUL first shot an outlier at this point, but I think we have a really nice comparison in order to do the destruction testing in the next part. So what I decided to do for the next test was to alternate the balls. I've got one of each. I start out with a Grimburg JUL, then I've got an aluminum ball, JUL, aluminum, and I alternate all the way down for the 8 shots. But I'm going to put, after a couple shots, I want to put a little drop of oil on there, feed it in, make it tight. Yeah. So we got it in, we got our 6-inch barrel, we got alternating shots starting with Grimburg JUL. And so let's go over and I'll show you what the target is. All right, I got a piece of wood here. First time that I've really messed with shooting wood, although as you can see, there are a couple little dents right here. These are from shooting my TCP back before doing some mods, before cranking it up too high. This was relatively low power, and this was early days, and this is what we got, little dents. I would imagine this was shooting in the 15 to 20 joule range. So this is our baseline. This is what we're looking at, but this is the same piece of wood. You can see how thick it is here. It's not super thick, but I really don't know what to expect. And I'm going to shoot slow, so I'm going to put a shot in with the Grimburg JUL and see what happens. I don't know what to expect. Then I'm going to let it sit a minute or so, and then we're going to try again with the aluminum ball, just to try to find out if there's any difference between them. I know it's not a perfect experiment because the FPS will go down with shots, but if you shoot slow enough and don't let it cool, I think that's one approach. And I'm going to go on the wood, so let's hope the ricochet is not too bad. This is not super high power, but this is enough power that the ricochet could definitely hurt. So that's why I'm back 20 feet. This is self-defense distance. This is the kind of area where you should be, at least. And so let's see. And I am expecting some ricochet. Wow, it didn't go through, and it ricocheted back. So definitely did not break. So I'm going to let this sit for about a minute or so it doesn't, cool down. I think the power for the second shot can often be very similar to the first shot if you shoot really slowly. And I'm going to give that a second. And in the meantime, I'm going to grab my Grimburg JUL here, which came all the way back. So you can see there's my Grimburg JUL, bounced all the way back off the wood. No issues in terms of breaking my JUL. So the real comparison here is what happens now. We're going with a second shot, maybe a little lower power, but we're going to be using an aluminum ball against this wood. Does it make a difference? Does it give a different effect? I can see the hole that we just created. Not a hole, but a significant dent. But let's see how the aluminum ball does. I'm going to try to put this one. It's highly unlikely that I put it in the same hole, so let's don't worry about that. All right. Got it. And try to get a good shot placement so we can make a comparison. Oh yeah, that came right back. And so now we have done the aluminum ball and we have done the Grimburg JUL. So I think that's worthy of us taking a look before we go any further. I'm going to leave this charged, and again, we'll look at another shot after that. All right, this is what we got. So this was the Grimburg JUL first shot. Pretty good dent, pretty good penetration. And this was the aluminum round, second shot. Again, I think clearly the Grimburg JUL was deeper. This is a little more shallow. This is a little bit deeper. None of them were significant enough to go through the wood. and to cause anything on the other side. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to put another Grimburg JUL down here, another aluminum round up here. Whoa! Let's take a look. Wow! So, that Grimburg JUL went into the wood, but that's supposed to be the first 4 shots. So let's do the next 2 and see what we get. That might have gone all the way through. All right, one more. Yeah, we're getting some damage. Let's go take a look at those 2. All right, so we are getting quite a bit of damage now. The other one went in that hole, caught the edge and was able to break through the wood. We got a complete breakthrough this time. Right there, blown right through. And then look at the kind of damage we're getting down here. Now, of course, if you keep hammering the same area over and over, you are going to eventually bust through the wood. All right, we're going to finish it up. I'm going to try to see if I can destroy the wood by putting these somewhere in between. It's supposed to be 2 more balls left. Now, I've sort of, at this point, unless there was a double shot, we should have 2 shots left. Either of these projectiles will eventually start to break through the wood. Was there a real difference between the 2? No, I wasn't able to see any convincing difference, at least in this test. Obviously, I think there are other tests that might show differences, and I'll certainly pursue those. But for right now, I think we could talk about this a little more. Now I know why everybody does their shooting in the garage, because that's where your tools are when you break something, or you have to get a projectile that's buried in the wood. You know, you would think that these would be the hard ones to find because they're dark and they hide in the shadows, but today I actually found a JUL, so I'm +1 on JULs from previous shooting, and I lost one of my shiny aluminum rounds yet to be discovered. I don't think it's buried in the wood there, but let's take this one out. So I found this one to be incredibly difficult on the spot when I was shooting to understand exactly what was going on. I think after looking back at the video, shot number 1 was right here. Shot number 2 was this one, which remained undisturbed. Those were shots 1 and 2. This was the Grimburg JUL. This was the aluminum ball. Then there was shot 3, which was a Grimburg JUL, which went right here and lodged in there and blew out part of the back side. I mean, they literally blew out part of the back. And but the Grimburg JUL lodged in there, and that was shot 3. And you can see on the video as I go back, shot 3, it just went in there and it plugged it with a black hole. And then there was the next shot, which was the aluminum ball, which was right in here. So it literally went on top of that first shot, which was the Grimburg JUL. So now you had aluminum ball go in, and that one went all the way through. That was the first 4 shots. And then there were shots 5 and 6. Oh yeah, so we had one more that went on top of here. So this is 2 holes. There's one here, there's another here. So we had 2 on top of each other. Then we had one went through here, clean break all the way through. And then the last 2 shots were a little unclear to me. It looked to me like the first one was sort of clearing out this area here and really clearly made this damage. And then the last one, I did not feel a projectile. I felt it was an air shot, but this hole right here appeared, or this dent appeared at the very end. And I have a chronological pictures, still frame pictures that sort of put that together, which I'll show you here at the very end. So you can decide. But I think this one and then the one that cleared this out was the last 2. So we got a lot of shots on target. We had a couple that went through. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is this left side here is actually thinner. And that's something that you may not appreciate. You can see here there's a ridge, and it is just a little bit thinner. And right there. So it's not surprising then that we would have gotten our penetration on those far left corners, and we didn't really get any penetration over here. So I think you sort of learn a little bit about the power of a TCP. Not able to go through this, but we were able to get some penetration here. But even then, it was mostly in areas where we were getting a hit upon another area that had been weakened by a shot. And then we were able to go through either up here on the corner or down in here. So again, this is a TCP that is tuned, it doesn't have any mods for extreme high power. It's just got a regulator that's turned up, velocity screws turned up, 9 turns, and it's got a nice barrel and it shoots really well. So this is the kind of damage that you can get on wood. I did not see really major differences between the two projectiles, but this may not have been the best test. Stay tuned for different tests.